I'm on live.
He said, I'm on live.
I just jumped on here to let you know that yes, a goat can go live.
Yes, a goat can go live.
Whoa.
With Young Thug released from jail following the latest mess in the YSL Rico trial with him accepting a plea deal, he has now returned home with his family. However,
Yeah,
DJ
boy.
Academics does not believe it's going to be that easy, explaining that
Yeah, I
it's
don't think
actually
so
all a
either.
setup for Young Thug to go back to prison.
I know some of his fans think he beat the case. He definitely didn't beat the case.
didn't beat the
the
case.
case means you got no stipulations.
Right.
The Young Thug thing is a win, but it's also
Yeah. I agree with what he's saying, though. Beat the case means you beat the case. Beat the case means you can talk about what happened. You could do whatever you want to do. It's no probation. You good. That's what beat the case mean. He did not beat the case because I think he technically like pled guilty or like no contest or something. So he didn't beat the case, especially if you leave on probation. You ain't beat the case. But I've seen a lot of niggas on the internet talking about, you should have took the 20-year sentence. Who the fuck finna take a 20-year sentence over 15 years probation, bro? That's just dumb.
set up. If you gonna tell me that they gonna monitor,
Young Thug released stipulations. Young Thug can't make gang-related music. It's banned from Atlanta for 10 years and has to do a... That's good, though. That's great. If he's banned from Atlanta, that's good, because I'm pretty sure if he wasn't in Atlanta doing what he was doing this whole time, he wouldn't have ever gotten this situation. It has to do a 4 annual anti-gang presentations concerts for Atlanta. Okay. Young Thug can't have contact with gang members or co-defendants other than brother and Gunna. So for everybody that said Gunna wanna snitch, Thug personally asked, can I please have contact with my brother and with Gunna? Everybody else, I don't care nothing about, but I want to be able to be kicking with my brother Gunna and my blood brother, I think Umfung. You feel me? That's what he said. For everybody talking about Gunna wanna snitch, I don't think Gunna snitched. Snitch, I mean, he kind of did a little bit, but he took a plea deal. He didn't get on the stand and say, Your Honor, I seen him shoot him. Like, he didn't do that snitching.
him on a probationary basis for 15 years, can be in Atlanta, can't communicate with co-defendants or gang members. He can't rap about, he can't promote any music that has to do with what they believe is gang activity. Well, he's always going to talk about him and is doing his thing. They might consider that gang activity. He might be like, yo, me is like, yo, we going to the park getting lit. We going to the club getting lit. They might be like, oh no, you talking about the gang. So,
I don't think it's gonna be like that, gang. Especially after everything that happened. I don't think they're gonna do that, folks.
Celebrating right now because I think we could all see, if you follow that trial at all, whether you're a fan of Thug or not, you can see the pain, you can see this was going through it. Like, he gained a lot of weight. Everybody know Thug was not that weight. Right. So we happy he got out, but we definitely got to be very cognizant of how it's going to play out.
DJ Academics and others don't believe it's going to be that easy for Young Thug, as many think that Young Thug speaking inside a court was one of the only reasons that he was even released.
Listen, I have a mentorship called the Mula membership where I'm going to teach you how to get rich with business, YouTube, crypto, stocks, financial literacy, credit, every single way. Now, I became a millionaire by the time I was 23 years old. I'm going to teach you step by step for only $50. Click the first link in the description right now and get added to my group chat where I'm going to give you one-on-one help to make sure you get rich in 2024. Click it right now. Stop tweaking because we got very, very, very limited spots and I don't want you to miss this bag.
As Young Thug would describe to the judge and jury the type of man that he truly is and that he's truly sorry for everything that he's ever done.
Anything that you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, my managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just having so much time investing into this, and
hell yeah.
I am a smart guy, I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height, because
that's Slack Gotti right there. What happened to Yak Gotti? Did he get out? Oh, he's still on trial.
As Young Thug would even continue further on this speech, making everybody cry inside of the room, as he definitely hit a nerve with a lot of the jury and judge members that were in that courtroom.
I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. Yeah. I've learned from my mistakes.
I think Thug learned though, bro. And this what I be telling people. You don't need a whole lot of money. You don't need 15 million to move out of your home city. You don't need 100 million to move out of the hood and go to the suburbs of Ohio somewhere, work a regular job and build your business or whatever. Bro. And one thing about Thug that I think he'll be straight, Thug don't have to make gangster music. Thug's best music is when he's not talking about nothing gangster at all, folks. When you talking about Dropping Jewels, that whole album, that whole Pink album, when you talk about Beautiful Thugger Girls, like shit like that, bro. She wanna party. She wanna party. Like, he can make music. He don't have to make, he's not same with Lil Durk, bro. Lil Durk did not have to keep making murder music, bro. Some of Lil Durk's biggest songs is when he's not talking about the streets, bro. He just talking about it's gonna be okay. Just don't leave, okay. Like, so I feel like Thug come home on that. He can't go back to Atlanta, so all of them gang banging friends he can't be around. So if he just stick to that, maybe he's move to Cali, smoke him a little loud. I'm sure he might be able to get a prescription for some, stonky, and he could be cool.
I come from nothing and I made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. Yeah. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me, because you made everything fair for me and
real deal.
Everybody involved.
They ain't have to do that
on both sides,
Even Yak Gotti like, hell yeah.
I'm sorry to the sheriff, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, and I just hope that.
As Young Thug would then end his speech off by just allowing the judge to understand everything that he has done great for his community. And if Young Thug were to be released today, he can go back to helping out those in need in communities that desperately need funding.
You find it in your heart to allow me to go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late. And maybe it was because I was, probably on or anything, I don't know. But I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy, I don't mind doing stuff like, free shows, and I always did that. I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars. I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity, and I did.
But to understand Young Thug and everyone's reaction to him being released, you need to see the moments when Young Thug would walk up to the stand to accept the plea deal.
Mr. Steele, Mr. Adams, Mr. Williams.
I know, boy, my heart would have been in my ass.
Ready to go forward? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming up here to the podium.
I'm scared, but I'm ready, goddamn. Hold on, y'all, because y'all know I love putting y'all on to that easy money. CashKick.com is a free to use cash rewards marketplace that helps you save and grow your money. This is some of the simplest and easiest ways to make money right now. All you have to do is play mobile games on your phone, and you can earn up to $500 per deal. Now remember, I said CashKick.com is free to use, so they will never, ever, ever ask you to send them any type of money. Signing up is super easy. All you need is an email and a password. Once you sign up, all you have to do is download your first offer and start making money. Now, your offers and reward amounts can change at any time. So that means you can download a game on your phone, play it for long enough, make $500 on one day, and the next day you can download a whole nother game, play it for long enough, make $300. Next day, same thing. This is some of the easiest money I can tell you about right now. And again, you can earn up to $500 per deal. So this is what I need you to do. Go to cashkick.com, make you an account, activate your account. Make sure you turn on allow tracking on your phone so that the app can actually track how much you're playing the game and earn you some of the easiest money you can make. Y'all can't say I ain't never did nothing for you. Skate. She could say whatever, bro. That's the crazy, scary part. She don't have to say he can go home. She could say, boy, yeah, it's crazy. I appreciate you. So instead of giving you 40 years, I'm going to give you 7. And he could have sat back in there and had to do 7 more. Like.
All right, Sergeant, can you swear in Mr. Williams?
Raise your right hand and you swear firm testimony you give to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's your name, first and last. You might can't tell first and last. Jeffrey Williams, I got you.
Jeffrey Williams, Jeffrey Williams.
As it would be that moment when Young Thug was accepting his fate and he was allowing to have a plea deal determine his future. As it would be announced, the state is recommending Young Thug is sentenced to 45 years with 25 years to serve. However, Thug's lawyer Brian Steele was definitely not going to accept that offer at all. So they would do a special type of plea deal called a Mula, where basically the judge determines Young Thug's sentence.
Mr. Williams, were you aware of the state's previous offer?
Let me find out Thug lawyer was hitting the judge, and that's why she, you know.
That was turned down prior to your making this non-negotiated plea.
Yes.
All right. And Your Honor, at this time, the state is making a recommendation of 45 years with 25 to serve in custody, followed by 20 on probation, subject to the special requirements of 1615 the gang statute.
Right before the judge would accept the terms of the Mula agreement, the state would then offer one more deal. As it would be announced, he could have come home today if he accepted the previous offer, but he did not agree to the special conditions. As the state wanted Young Thug to turn on YSL members, announcing that YSL is a gang, and he would also have to give information up on 8 members that are still currently going on with charges.
So that's probably what Gunna took. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the plea deal Gunna took. And he said that, Gunna said that his lawyer kind of like finagled him a little bit into taking that deal, which is real easy to do when you in the court system and like you reading these contracts and these plea deals and you don't really understand what the hell they saying because you're not a lawyer. You don't speak law language. You hear me? So I don't know.
Been released today for 15 years on probation. If he successfully completes that probation, then he would not have to go to custody. If he did not, he'd face probation revocation as well as 23 years, as a court said, backloaded in the Georgia prison system. But we could not come to terms on all the conditions that the district attorney was insisting upon.
But once again, there is no way Thug was accepting that. He was not going to fall back on his guys of YSL, and he definitely was not going to ruin his reputation.
And they talking about snitching. They was talking about really snitching, like really giving real information. What Gunna did was just say some shit on the stand and go home. They was asking Thug to snitch.
This is where Young Thug's lawyer did something so unthinkable. He rolled the dice on Young Thug's entire future by not accepting the initial plea deal that was offered. As we then saw Brian Steele announce to the courtroom what Young Thug is willing to accept, and it's reported Young Thug pleads no contest to the RICO count in the gang leader count. The rest, he pleads guilty.
One, which is the racketeering conspiracy count.
He pled guilty to
Mr. Williams is tendering a plea under nolo contendere as to count 56, which is participation in a criminal street gang activity as being a leader or a supervisor or organizer. Mr. Williams is also tendering a plea to this honorable court as under nolo contendere. The balance of the counts, so he is tendering a guilty plea.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Would the court like to hear from the state or not?
About the NOLO issues?
Yes.
Sure.
Your Honor, the state ask that the court not accept a nolo plea and require either a guilty plea or a not guilty plea as to these charges.
All right. I'm going to permit a nolo plea as to counts 1 and 56.
Stupid ass down, like.
Right.
As Young Thug would even announce himself that he needs to take a plea deal today. The trial was not even supposed to end for another 3 months, but sadly, Thug wanted it over. He would be announced. Young Thug's lawyer said Thug insisted on this because he could not handle 3 more months of his kids crying. If there was a chance that he could come home today, his lawyer told him
imagine sitting there for so long, and 3 months sound like 3 months probably to you probably sound like a lot, but to him, he been in there for so long, so it's like he probably sound like even longer to him. That nigga already been in there 2 years, boy. That time go by slow. You don't gotta go out of the sheet. Listen, you do not gotta go to jail for no 3, 4, 5 years to know that when you in jail, boy, that time go slow than a mother. Ain't no clocks. Like, that shit is like torture, gang. It's not no clocks. It's cold. You don't see no sunlight. You don't know what time it is. You don't know what day it is. It's just like you just there, folks. Like, you just like a real, you like an insect in that motherfucker. Like, you just there, gang. I'm not sitting in here 3 more months for that.
Trial, but he was okay with either decision.
For almost 2 years since we did our jury selection initiation on January 4th, 2023. Mr. Williams been sitting in a jail since May 9th, 2022. This is 2.5 years waiting for the conclusion of the state's case and a verdict from the jury, and that's why he is tendering this plea. I'm telling the court this, and the court knows when you came out the first time, it's very hard for Mr. Williams. I am not supportive of what we're doing right now. I'm not against it. But I told Mr. Williams, you okay with me saying this? Yes. I told Mr. Williams that I think we're winning the trial and we should go to verdict. But he told me I can't wait another 3 months if there is any possibility I could go home because I have children that are hurting.
After hearing the reports of his children desperately wanting to see their father, with Young Thug not being able to handle it anymore, he accepted a deal. This is when the judge finally had her verdict on Young Thug, and she would continue to sentence him with the following.
So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served.
You did half of that.
Followed by 15 years on probation. Followed then by...
So he really already did his sentence. They gave him, I think they gave him 40 years. So they gave him 40. He had to do 5, but he got time served because he already did half of 5. Half of 5 is 2.5. So he already did 2.5. So a lot of times when you actually go to prison and you have to do 5 years, you'll get out in 2.5 and go on parole or probation. So the good thing is he's not on parole because he never technically went to prison. He's on probation. So probation is a little bit, I think it's a little bit lenient. I don't really know too much about parole, but it's a little bit more lenient than parole is. You feel me? So
backloaded 20 years, which
20 years
can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation. If you are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to time served.
With it being announced that Young Thug was then released from jail, everyone in the courtroom was so happy. This even then led into a post-game interview with Young Thug's lawyer, saying on how Young Thug now feels out of jail and what he went through.
As far as how Jeffrey's feeling now, he knows my feelings, which I'm not going to reveal for attorney-client privilege.
I ain't gonna lie, the lawyer probably fake blue. The lawyer probably fake blue because the lawyer probably did. He probably, it kind of did sound like he was gonna win the trial from what my point, but you never know what the judge gonna say at the end or what the jury gonna say, you feel me? But the lawyer probably like, shit, man, I wish you would have took this to trial and beat it so you would have been off of it. We ain't got to worry about it. And he would have looked like a superhero for beating that case.
But this is not the same as a not guilty verdict. That should have been ran. But nobody here wakes up every day on a concrete floor that they're calling his bed. Gets up at 4:15. Gets shackled on his feet, his waist, and his hands, comes to the Fulton County Courthouse to be on concrete eating out of a bag. Doritos is his meal of choice. And then coming to a courtroom and sit there with a leg chain on him every single day.
Every damn day.
And hear lie after lie.
Yep.
So for Jeffrey go home today
for 2.5
and not have
years.
another 90 days or 120 days of it, he is very happy.
Now, this would end up getting the attention of rappers in the industry. 4-2 Doug explained it perfectly. He always felt like somebody had it out for Young Thug and that they wanted him forever. But thankfully, due to Brian Steele and how great of a lawyer he is,
I think one of them, I think only reason he even got locked up is because I think one of them district attorneys had a hard dick for Thug. And they was like, oh, we got a chance to lock up one of the biggest artists in Atlanta. Let's do it, because if I can do this, that'll boost my career all the way up through there. Because the case been fluky as hell, gang. He supposed to been home. At least Penn got a bond or something.
Have you been tapped into the YSL case at all? And how do you think that's been?
I've been trying to watch a little bit.
And do you think it's being mishandled?
I think it should have been dismissed.
It should have been dismissed.
That just happened.
Crazy, like trying to send his lawyer to jail. From the outside looking in, it's looking like they got something against him.
But this also felt similar to what Boosie said about YNW Melly. Because when the feds want you, especially when you're a rich, famous rapper, they're gonna find ways to keep.
I don't know about YNW Melly. That's a whole nother conversation. Hold on, pause. That nigga crazy.
You in jail. However, this time they couldn't keep him.
Now they're putting even more charges on him, and then
when they want you, they want you.
But when they want you, they go. Yeah.
I knew they wanted him bad when they waited for that law to get passed. They waited all the way.
Penalty.
So it'd be 8-4.
Oh right, yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah. They could have been took you to trial.
They could have been took him to trial, yeah.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial.
So I think he's saying that instead of, I think the way it worked in some states, I don't know how it's different in different states, but I think some states you got to have all 12 jurors agree. I think they waited for a law to get passed to where it's 8-4. So only 8 people got to agree to one verdict. They only 8 people got to say guilty for him to go to prison. You see what I'm saying? So they waited for that law to pass, I think what he's saying, so that they can actually start the trial.
A couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a mistrial.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too, boy. I get that. How the hell he ain't get a bond after a mistrial? All the shit Thug went through. How he ain't get a bond after all this, all that? And he coming back to court, and he got to sit there and can you imagine that shit? You got to sit there and listen to people lie on you. Then you got to listen to all this misconceptions. They trying to make it seem like you this monster. You got shackles on your ankles, and you low-key happy to be in court because as long as you in court, you not in the jail. But court just as goddamn bad because you just sitting here. Ain't no TV, ain't no clock, ain't no homies, ain't none of that. You just sitting here. Talking this shit long as hell. You 6-7 hours, and then after that, you gotta go back to jail. I'm sure a lot of people in jail, they not eating no jail food, bro. So they eating noodles and Doritos for breakfast every day, gang. Like even him coming home and getting a Popeye's chicken sandwich is like a fucking gourmet meal, gang. I'm just happy Thug free. I hope he stay free. No cap. Slatty!